What up, y'all? Back one time for another audio occasion, the podcast for the self-starters and those willing to make the most out of any situation. I forgot to say that last time. We took a little break off, but, had me a little rusty on the intro. But as always, we'll double up for it. The podcast for self-starters and those willing to make the most out of any situation. EFS Podcast is back for another episode. All right, y'all, in today's leading audio, we got y'all with some more on the rap legend. We've been here a lot lately, but we're just going to keep showing y'all how real it is. Here we go.
Cash App for the GNX tour tickets is not only some real nigga shit to do, but that's some genius shit to do. Because it ensures that the demographic he wants there is going to be able to be there. I can't tell you how many times I've played a show or attended a show and it's all white people there because they got first dibs on the Amex presale. And I'm an Amex girly anyway, so I was going to be good regardless, okay? But do I want to be in there with Amexers? No. I'm trying to be with the realest niggas, okay? And real niggas got Cash App, okay? And then some of y'all are like, I want the points. I would have loved the points too, but that's not the point of this. He wants to perform that album in the building with the people he made it for. And that is real nigga shit. And that is genius shit. And that's some shit I appreciate. And it's going to be my birthday week? Load the Cash App card now.
Is crazy.
Kendrick partnering with Cash App for the...
Mm-hmm. So let that sink in on the way in. And as we get this thing rolling, we load up this theme music and we come out here with a couple air horns. Damn, my fingers is off. You know when you get old and you just can't type no more?
No, I'm not there.
Damn, well, I am the oldest one in the room, so.
Sounds painful.
I ain't get there yet. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, shit.
No, I don't know about that.
Your fingers don't work, the dexterity don't be as pristine as it used to be. Either way, y'all, back for another audio occasion. We are in the house for episode number 43 of the EFS podcast. I am your host, and if you made it to the audio/visual occasion, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love the love over here at the EFS podcast. I'm here with a great gang of guys. To my right, we got Mr. Drew Falls, the Philly special in the house. Couple air horns for him.
Going for 10 in a row today. 10 in a row.
10 in a row.
You see us?
Yeah, he looking good, man. It's hard to get off the Saquon train. Pause. Moving even more to my right side, we got the man Waldo Black in the house.
What's
the man, the myth, the legend, the artiste, we was just pressing him earlier about putting out the album, but we're going to let him live.
Ultra talented.
We're going to let him live. Ultra talented. All those good things. Round of applause for the gang back in the house, and round of applause for you who came to check out the pod. So as we get this theme music faded out, we let our round of applause go the whole time, We got big rounds today.
Yes, sir.
How's everybody feeling as we kick this thing off, man? Mentally, physically, let me know.
I'm done all my Christmas shopping. I'm very grateful.
Christmas
shopping.
shopping.
All done.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. I hope everybody like what they got. Some of y'all ain't getting nothing, but everybody who's supposed to get something, they should get what they want. And
You know what I hate?
What's that?
Is when you wasn't planning on getting somebody something, and then they pop up like, I gotta get your gift, and it's like, shit. You wasn't even on my list to begin with.
Budget is set.
It's forced.
My budget is set to the people I was planning on getting. If somebody
so how
give
does
me
that work
something,
then?
If somebody give me something unexpectedly, I'm gonna scrounge around. If I gotta move money, use a credit card, whatever I gotta do, I'll get them something.
So you're gonna get them something back.
Something.
So you ain't gonna be the guy that's like, thank you.
Something. Not a lot. Something.
I bet.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just making sure.
Ain't nothing wrong with a candle and a blanket. Like you get that.
No doubt. I'm just saying because that happened to me twice this week already. I'm like, damn, I wouldn't even think about you. But
I'll hit a roses real quick.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
Roses.
But sometimes life get busy. I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm buying gifts for the main people. Most important ones in my close circle of life. Anybody
so you
else
got me something.
I mean, you taking care of.
You see it? Nah, I'm messing with you.
You taking care of, bro.
I appreciate it.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
I know one of them things better be one of them EFS shirts, man.
When they get printed up, we good.
Listen,
I
man.
told y'all I got y'all. We got to make sure, we can get things turned around accordingly. Your man said he's changing locations, so I'm trying to make sure.
Yeah, he's doing a lot right now.
Yeah,
shouts to him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Creatives Only gang.
Shouts to that. Christmas gifts. What's up with you, Drew? How you doing, man? Got the dub on the road yesterday.
Yeah. No, we had a good showing yesterday. Everything's straight. Like you said, finished up my Christmas shopping too. So just trying to.
See, I done.
Cruise
like,
into
everything done outside of the
I
surprise
was thinking
gifts.
about getting one or two more things, but I'm like, nah, I don't need to. I'm good.
I got all the main gifts. The big money gifts is like out the way. I still got one more to get.
Hey, the package show up for the donation?
Yeah. We
It
came.
did?
They
Okay,
came through.
cool.
It
All
came
right,
through.
I got the delivery notes if I got to text you.
Yeah, it came through. Came
Alright,
through.
good,
Everything
good,
with the
good.
donations went well. Toy drive was a smash. We still ain't
Yes.
dropped it. Well, by the time this is released, we'll have dropped it off to the Kind of
yeah.
Kids Foundation.
Yep.
But definitely picked up everything yesterday. Waldo was there for
Yeah,
that.
man, it was fire, man.
Nice, good deal.
Great reception and great, support. Overwhelming support is what I've been saying all week. Like my joke is like y'all overwhelm me with all the toys y'all dumped over on me, but it's supportive, so I do appreciate it. Y'all that have
Shout out to
donated.
Waldo's
Round of
family,
applause for
yo,
that.
real,
Yeah, definitely round of applause for that. Round of applause for y'all. I really appreciate it for a great cause. I don't know. I got to come up with a new moniker or something on the Santa Claus side or whatever. Like I don't know, some Christmas shit, because I'm definitely about to dump off a decent amount of toys.
Yeah, we got work tomorrow, right? Yeah, we got to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's drop off tomorrow.
We're gonna get you
We're
in
gonna
the,
pull up
we're
on
gonna
them.
get you in
This
the
is we're
Santa suit.
recording on Sunday. We dropping off Monday for the listeners that don't know what actual day we talking about. But yeah,
You pulling up in the Santa suit?
nah, I can't turn that.
I know you ain't got the bill for it.
I
but-
mean, if
Nah,
you need
Slim
somebody,
Santa, Slim Santa.
just get me the suit. I got,
That might be fire though for content.
You gotta get me a suit though. I'm not paying for the suit. You gotta get the suit. Bro.
Just buy and return it. Throw that shit back in the box.
He said buy and return.
Amazon, they refund you for anything.
If it was a little earlier in the game, I mean, yeah.
I wasn't planning on it, but you
Yeah.
got the voice. You got
the voice. It's
the
crazy.
beard.
I do got a little something.
That's
I
what I'm
gotta
saying.
gray it out. That's a
Gray
lot
it
of
out,
work,
right?
man. That's a lot of
Perfect
work.
Santa man for me. But
Santa man, that's crazy.
nah, but yeah. But either way, great again. Like really, really appreciate that. That doesn't go without saying for me. Y'all have sent me stuff from all over the place. I got donations from San Diego, from Florida, from Wisconsin,
good job.
from
That's
New
fire.
York, New Jersey. Like so, it was a lot of people that really stepped up just because they fuck with your boy, and I really appreciate that.
Yep.
As I enter this new phase of my existence and just doing again community shit, but also shit for the foundation. That
Yep.
is we got so much to do with that. That's on the way.
Yep.
One time for them.
Yeah, facts. But I guess out the gate, want to roll this thing out here and just get to it.
Go ahead, man. Let it. You gonna have to talk about this one. Opening this one up.
I mean, it's the leading story all week long.
I
so
know. That's what I'm saying. But you was just on the rock up in the air and all that. I need you to go up with this one.
for the pre-pod, for the Spotifyers, go back and check that out if you like.
Yeah, that was you, man. So
Oh no, no doubt.
So
I stand behind mine.
He said that was you.
Hey, that's it, man.
I stand behind mine, and we're going. How we want to handle this though? Because we want to put the kid gloves on, or we want to actually talk.
Nah,
talk,
like,
talk.
we
Keep it
it's
funky.
EFS. We know we talk. We gonna talk about. Yeah, I mean the real. Like
I'm just
and
making sure
there's
because
layers
we
to
want
this.
to go
There's
about this
layers
a
to
different
this.
way. We can. Then we
gonna
let
have
me
a
know.
real in-depth conversation. I think they would appreciate that. The viewers, it was gonna appreciate us talking real. And I don't want to pull no punches, man.
So Jay-Z, this is what we're gonna talk out the gate.
Yeah.
It actually came out last week, right after we recorded, where I was like,
was
"Fuck!"
crazy. Yeah,
like
it
as soon
was
as we went home,
Word.
I'm just like, "God damn!" We missed out
Yeah,
on
missed
such
the
a
whole joint.
But I'm not mad about it because it gave us time to have details.
Yeah.
You know,
You would have been too fresh.
come to the surface, and then things put out there that are actual part of the whole situation that we can discuss. So I'm not mad about having to wait a week because a lot happened in the week outside of just what happened last Sunday when it dropped and all that. So if you haven't heard by now, you must live under a rock or just don't really live under a rock. Wow.
That was crazy.
Wow.
It's a bar.
Wow, it is. Nah, but
Go
I'll write that down.
Go ahead.
Yeah, write that down. Nah, but outside of that, either way, if you don't live under a rock, then you've known that Jay-Z has been named in a civil suit along with one Sean P. Diddy Combs to say he had did the one word that we ain't gonna say in here because I don't want to have to bleep it out too many times.
Grape.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. But he's been accused of essay and, physically, all that with a 13-year-old girl who was at the VMAs and ended up being at an after party with him, or allegedly. Excuse me, all alleged.
All alleged.
At an after party with him to say that her and Sean Diddy Combs, who we know is in his own heap of shit already, to be...
To keep it mild.
Yeah, to keep it mild, But either way, he's been named. A lot's happened since then. He's came out with a statement against the accusations that have been levied against him. Should we read the statement? You haven't read the whole statement.
And you said the date
I
on
think
it.
it's important to read the statement.
All right,
That-
it is important to read the
Well,
statement.
you said the
because it's
allegations too was from 20 plus years ago?
2003.
2000.
2000, okay.
This happened in 2000 at the
just
VMAs.
just for the viewers. Just for the
Yeah.
viewers.
Just for the
Some-
viewers who
some
haven't
context,
heard.
Yeah.
Just doing our journalistic integrity, as Waldo said.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
So Jay put out a statement, very strong statement. Like they say he's a rapper, he's a writer for a reason. I know some people said there was his publicist, blah blah blah, whatever. So let's find it first. Actually, statement reads: My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. I had the opposite effect. It had the opposite effect. Excuse me. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. Capital all caps on very. So no, I would not give you one red penny. These allegations are heinous and in the nature, and I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? ? These allegations, these alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I had done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you would have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I am more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither valor or dignity, excuse me. He continues, my only heartbreak is for my family, my wife and I, who have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty of greed in this world, of people, excuse me. I mourn yet another loss of innocence, speaking about his child. Children should not have to endure such at a young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirits. He continues to say a bunch more, but basically said at the end of it that, you're going to see how different I am from anybody else you've dealt with before. So long read, bear with me for my whatever.
Soliloquy.
Yeah. But that was his statement. To then have, multiple things being released from the time he put that out, which was the night of the original accusations and claims, to then the young woman, or well, I guess older woman now, she's 38 years old from what they say, to appear in an NBC News interview speaking about the incident. She's still unnamed. She still didn't show her face. So, and we heard the full audio on that. So
yeah.
Thoughts on everything that's happened? Sorry, a lot of details. We came at you out the gate, but here we are. So,
I mean, it's nasty work.
Yeah.
It's nasty. It's nasty to be even included in the conversation. Like, I don't know, man. It's like I've already lamented about the baby oil bandits, man. I already talked about
legends is what you call them, baby. Or wait, I guess you changed it.
I changed it up.
It was
baby
legends
oil
one
bandits.
episode. It was bandits.
Well, bandits has better alliteration, so I've opted to baby oil bandits. But I feel like if this isn't true, doesn't mean there wasn't some foulness going on with some of these cats from back in the day, man. You can even look at Russell Simmons as an example too. He was doing some foul stuff.
I mean, sure, but we keeping it on Jay. Like we know the industry was.
No, yeah. I'm not. I'm talking about an overarching aspect of the hip hop from that era.
Mm-hmm.
That era is filled with some nasty work in it. You know what I'm saying? So, do I believe in this particular allegation and its validity? I can't call it yet. I can't call it. There's a lot up in the air, and then they had the lady on, and she didn't seem like she was fully, you know what I mean, credible. And I was just like, if you know how sometimes you gotta have the right messenger to say the message, like you can have the right message but the wrong messenger. And I think what is happening is a multitude of things. Whether or not Jay-Z did that, I can't call it. I can't, and that makes me uncomfortable because I know Jay-Z is one of my top artists of all time. He's like, you know what I'm saying? What I can say is Diddy, I know is nasty. I know that. You can just feel it in the pit of your stomach.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be true for Jay. And I don't want anything even close to this to be true about Jay or the Rock camp and anything like that. So far, I don't know anybody who's pulled any deals. I don't know anybody who's taken anything away from Jay. So he's combating the
NFL still behind
allegations.
them.
Yeah,
All
he's
these
combating
business
the
partners.
allegations really well at this current juncture. The statement he put out was well crafted, but you're talking about one of the best writers in the game. He's gonna have a well crafted.
50 said it was his publicist.
Even if it was a publicist, it was greatly. He had to okay it. Somebody was doing their work. ChatGPT didn't pull that one up. I don't think ChatGPT did that
for
one.
Sure. That was just a little shot.
It was a well crafted.
50 been receiving some smoke lately too.
Yeah, it was well crafted. It covered every layer. I did have a problem. The fact that he never said he didn't do it. That to me was weird. Like in that whole statement, he didn't say I did not do these allegations. All he said is he attacked the lawyer. He attacked every aspect of it.
I mean, but if it came out and said, maybe not in that original statement
that's
or
what
whatever.
I'm saying. Like, he never said.
I don't read the full thing. He might have said it at the end of it.
He
I
ain't
don't
said
remember
it.
the whole
I read
thing.
it too.
But either way, they've come out and denied that this did not happen. They've said this did not happen multiple times throughout the whole
right.
week.
But I'm just what I'm saying in the statement. That's what the only issue with that statement was. He didn't say I didn't do that. Now again, this didn't happen. Again, it's hard for me when it's like that didn't happen, but did anything else? Like he's never saying I never did anything with any. Like it's really hard, and that's why I think even going to Drake, when it became an issue of pedophile, it kind of like ended the beef. Like you can't say nothing because how do you even if you try to say I'm not a pedophile, you sound like a pedophile. It just has this weird because the topic gets really muddy when you start talking about people touching kids. And it's like there's no way to get around that once that becomes in the conversation. It just makes everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like with this whole Jay-Z situation. I'm very uncomfortable. I don't know if it's true or not, but it just makes me uncomfortable that his name is attached to this story.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's kind of how I feel about it too. I mean, it's super unfortunate to hear something like that. Like not only because of his artistry, but like the things he does for like criminal justice too.
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I mean? So you don't like to see someone with that kind of status and talent and impact like associated with stuff like that on any kind of level. But it is like the early on stages and stuff. I'm gonna go innocent until proven guilty on this just because. But it's kind of like you said, like with the Diddy, you could feel it in the pit of your stomach, and then it's like so many layers to it from like the stuff I've seen, and you know, there's a lot of speculation about its entirety, but some of the stuff is just I don't know. It's so like layered that it just makes me feel like anyone that was like remotely like associated with him had to have been there at some point around some of this fuck shit that you be hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fair, but
as it pertains to this though, I would say like with the Jay-Z to that specific situation, I would say that I would need to see and hear more things and await more things to come
24
about.
years later,
I think it's too early to have a like full opinion on it in my opinion.
I bet. All planes landed on that side.
All set.
I feel like it depends on what you're going to do. Go to high altitude. It depends.
I mean, I'm just keep it real. Like for me, just off of the whole Diddy shit, like I think that, and this is how I felt for years and years and years anyway, which I am not a victim blamer or a person who actually, doesn't want to consider that things could have happened, all that other shit. Like, yes, I understand that. It's Hollywood, it's the music industry, there's nasty shit that goes on. Do I condone any of it? No. But I'm also I'm not gonna sit around and be the one to just like believe anything that someone says.
Yeah.
Because I do know that there are people who will try to put things out there to make a celebrity or whoever look bad or just to get a check, which Jay is basically alluding that's what it is. Along with the whole Puff shit, I do think it's odd that the original suit, or not the original suit, the original like claim that was made only had Diddy's name on it, and then it was amended to then put Jay's name on it months later. So that to me is fishy out the gate. I'm not saying that maybe she couldn't have had some change of heart in what she wanted to put out there, and maybe that happened. Sure, it does look funny from the jump that that's the case.
It does.
It does. To me, I would also say that I don't think that Jay is wrong in saying like, why didn't you file this shit in criminal court? Like statute of limitation, which they've spoken about multiple times, is not up on this. Like you can file a criminal case if you really want. I think it's funny that you tried to go for a check first, which to me, it also says something about the claims as well. Like Diddy and Cassie situation, completely different as far as the way that one rolled out. This one, I do think that if it was a real case in that regard, why not put it in criminal court? You know, from my perspective.
Okay.
And there's reasons why it couldn't have gone there, but when you add too many things to the puzzle that don't fit, then to me it's like, all right, you got to start looking at it a little bit different, and like, or look at it with a more fine-tooth comb. The young woman who gave the interview, multiple people came out and said that I can't really support her claims because her father, who picked her up from the gas station supposedly, allegedly, said, I don't remember that shit. The lawyers who did the work on the interview said, and it was after, we didn't get to hear that shit in the clip that we heard, but the lawyers who did the investigative, not the lawyers, the journalists who did the investigative work on it, said that the father would have had to drive 5 hours from where he was at to where she was at to pick her up on that night. Benji Madden, the person that she said she was having a conversation with, another celebrity and all that who was at the party, the people his representative said and confirmed that he wasn't even there. He was in the Midwest performing that night. So to me, there's like a lot of holes in the story that make it look a little funny in the light. Fucking even Jay-Z, his Rock Nation account reposted the whole interview. Like, I don't know if it was a dig or if it was like a shout out just to say like, all right, now let's put this shit out here so like we can kind of start getting our side of the story out that this is some real bullshit. Like, because after the whole interview came out, he took the whole clip, the ones that we watched, posted it on his Rock Nation account. This was just yesterday. So he's not hiding from this one at all to say, like, this is some bullshit. So for me, I don't know any of these people personally. Is Jay-Z one of my favorite artists of all time? Yes. If you can ask anybody from my time in high school to my early college years and even past that, like, I thought I was Jay. Like, I used to wear my hat like Jay. This is the guy that, you know, I supported for a long time. I'm a Jay fan, Jay stan. He's from where I'm from. He's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different connection to me with Jay just because of everything he represents to the town, you know?
Yeah.
And the artist he was and all the stuff that he's done in the community, et cetera, all that. The list goes on. Am I not saying that he is not capable? Yes, everybody's capable of doing some bullshit.
Right.
I do have to stand on the side of, like, in this one, I need to see a lot more to jump on the Jay-Z hate train.
Yeah.
You know, which I see a lot of people on. But I do also see a lot of support for Jay and people saying, like, Jay, I stand with you, et cetera, which one way or another, once more is revealed, you're going to have to walk it back if he's nasty, or you're going to have to walk it back if you're the people that say, oh, fuck this, da-da-da, whatever. Like, these celebrities, these people, I knew it was Jay. I've been hearing people say, Jay-Z's next, Jay-Z's next, Jay-Z's next for months now as soon as Puff went down. Like, on the timelines, on the comments,
that's
like,
fair.
You know, just because he's there. And it all goes back to the point that I felt for the longest, Jay and Puff are not really that cool. Like, do they know each other? Yes. Do they, like, have they been in the same circles? Like, yes. But a lot of people in the industry like to make more of, like, their friends than they actually really are. They was putting up some shit online to say his house, Jay-Z's house where he lived in New York, and Puff's house where they lived in New York, apparently is on the same block. It was like, oh, I wonder what kind of tunnels they have built below their houses to be, I guess, trafficking people back and forth and all that kind of shit. This is a nastiness that's getting put out there, you know what I'm saying? And I do think that when you tie it to Puff, anybody's like, well, like you were saying, like anybody who was related to Puff or in any kind of way might have been around some of that shit or like, you know. So I think it's an easy way to say this is already rolling. So let me throw Jay name in it, another big Hollywood or music celebrity that we can add and like, you know, either get a check from or tear down their image to where they lose business and all the other shit.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just a little too funny the way it looks right now. If all the details are revealed and I feel that there's more credibility to some of the stuff that's being put out there, then of course. But I don't really see a case right now to where this is something that lives for that much longer.
Okay.
But we'll see.
That's potential.
But we'll see.
I would just say I'm not inviting my kids over there for a play date.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
No doubt. And
then,
there's been a whole parenting conversation around this thing too.
Exactly. And then
13 years old at the VMAs.
It doesn't make sense.
After party alone?
Exactly. I don't know where the parents were, whatever, regardless of that. But also, listening to Jay-Z songs are a little bit harder now.
That's a bop.
It adds a little bit of like, oh.
It's even worse with Diddy because he's on everything. There's so many like I was watching a YouTube video and like it was literally a VMA commercial from like 2005. I was watching like something on YouTube and it was like a VMA commercial and Diddy was in it and he was like, knocking on like regular people's door trying to tell them about it. It just is so cringe.
I remember
now.
that one.
Yeah, and he was like,
A lot of it is crazy, you know.
Crazy.
A lot of
It
it is
just gives you
crazy,
the-
and I'm not saying that people can't show one thing and then be another in the
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once everything started to roll out with Diddy, people was like, "Yeah, that tracks."
But you know why though? Because like for me at least, the layers that I'm hearing, and I can't even differentiate what's real and what's not yet because I've heard so much nonsense. But the layers that Diddy, like, this was his life, bro. Like, so if you're around him, you're gonna encounter it. Like, there's no way around it because of how like in depth some of the shit I've heard is. Like tunnels, bro. Do you understand the level of like
This is true.
this is like your life? That's like me being around you being like, yeah, we've never even talked about basketball. Like that's the level of like how deep into this shit he was. So it's like if you're around him, you're gonna see it and be exposed to it and you're gonna get lumped in with it to some degree until your name's cleared.
I mean, that's fair, but then there's a lot of other people that you could throw right on that list.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Like,
everybody's gonna have their
so-
day, but
Like, I'm not. There's guilty by association
Yeah.
type situations, but I ain't going that far with.
yeah, not with something like this.
Just because
not yet.
a person like Diddy has so many relationships that I could have like sneezed and somehow ended up at a Diddy party where some funny shit might have happened after, and I didn't really know about it, but I was there and could be quote unquote implicated in XYZ. So,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of muddy details with it, and I know the whole Puff thing and the whole Diddy thing has shook up the industry in a different kind of way to
whole
where
Hollywood.
everyone's like looking at it with a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is people got to be careful when it comes to doing that kind of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You got to be very careful when you start, you know, looking at everybody in a certain light. That is not to say that a lot of people aren't funny style that might need a light shown upon them. Cool. But you do have to be careful when doing that kind of shit because when you believe anything, it also makes the shit that is actually really credible have less value.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
that
fair.
is.
Just
I
because
don't
they're
know if this is
real
credible, though.
victims.
I don't
They're
know if this
real
is credible.
victims
Right.
and real people who are suffering from that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So if it's the boy who cried wolf syndrome, like you cry wolf enough, then when the wolf around, you don't believe it. So for me, it's like be careful just because that shit's serious that you're trying to either get a check from, put somebody's name in,
Yeah.
or have some other devious intent rather than just really exposing something that really happened.
Something really traumatic. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
I get what you mean.
That's where I draw the line. It's like, you know, for me, be careful with that kind of shit because that shit does ruins people's business and reputations. And like we spoke about, all Jay shit looks like it's intact right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody wanted to hear none of this. So I'm sure there's some tough conversations that had to be had, especially off the back of Diddy because his name is tied into some shit with Diddy.
The back of Diddy is crazy.
Pause, but whatever.
Yeah, anything with Diddy is pause. No Diddy.
Yeah,
no,
Diddy is crazy.
Either way, just be careful, y'all, is all I'm saying. And
Yeah, man.
at this point, I stand with innocent until proven guilty. Like, literally,
Yeah.
innocent until proven guilty. And that's that. You
Yeah.
know?
Moral of the story: whatever's done in the dark will be brought to light anyway.
Facts. And even the funny shit.
Yeah.
The funny shit that, you know, the shit that ain't right. Like, possibly going after someone for money and involving a name in some bullshit.
Yep.
If that's what's going on, you know.
If that's the case, and
More to be revealed as we
pray
go
that
through
a young lady,
2024.
whatever she's experienced, if whether it's real or if it's the people that she thinks it is or somebody, I just pray she heals and I give her empathy and grace. And,
Oh,
you know
no,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Whatever did or didn't happen to her, if she's lying about it, it's something obviously upsetting internally, even if she's not, you know.
And it's not to take away any credibility from the person,
No,
but
I'm
she's
just saying.
autistic as well.
Oh, that's even a crazier
Yeah.
twist to the story.
From what's being reported, she's autistic.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
So, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
there's a lot of layers to this
Layers,
thing that
man.
makes it a little like, you know,
Layers, man.
it's been a different kind of week in the news cycles with this one. You know?
I don't know because I'm gonna leave it alone. That's too crazy. I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, it's a lot of variables essentially that we can agree that need to be revealed before we have like an honest full scope of everything. But
For
on
sure.
on paper, you just don't like to hear about shit like that,
Nah, not
especially
at
from
all.
an icon like that. You know.
Not from one of the legends, you know,
Yeah.
in this rap
He's
shit.
on the wall for a reason.
And he's still up there. His picture ain't coming down.
Now
Like,
I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire. If it does come out, you gonna take him down?
oh, he coming down for sure.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
stand with my principles over anything, but I
Right.
also stand with, again, like literally innocent until proven guilty.
You okay with putting a different J up? J. Cole maybe?
Nah, he ain't gonna
Why
never
you
make the
gotta
wall.
say? Why you gotta be like that? Like,
He hasn't done enough
oh,
to
nah, he
make
ain't
that
do
wall.
enough, man.
He hasn't
Nah,
done
ain't
enough
do
to make that wall. Like, come on. Like, the people on that wall is like a different kind of. I could throw whoever up on that wall if that's the case. Kendrick would have made that wall.
Look, not Kendrick on the wall, but
I said he would have, and he not. So he's not there, not yet.
I'm about to say,
not yet at least.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see.
He the only one with a Pulitzer, so maybe he does deserve it.
I'm not saying he doesn't. He would go on the wall before J. Cole. Is what I'm saying. If Kendrick's not on that wall, J. Cole is not going on that wall. Is what I was gonna say.
You know who I'm surprised isn't on here?
Who?
Chadwick Boseman. I feel like that's like one of your guys.
He's a good dude.
Because you loved Black Panther when it came out.
Nah, that's a fact.
And he's a good dude too.
No, 100%. And very tragic passing. You know, I do got a space in my, my heart for Chadwick Boseman, his career, his life, and all that. You know,
I, like
I did consider putting him on the wall.
Did you really?
But,
okay,
yeah,
I was gonna say
there are people that haven't made the wall yet that got it. It's like a list for me.
Yeah.
And I haven't filled out the space yet just because we getting the consistency of this thing down, and I'm really more focused on that. But over time, I'm gonna add more pieces to it.
Yeah.
And there's people on the list before all of those, but Chadwick is close to that, and it's mainly just because of his passing. But not a long career for me to kind of get behind.
But a great legacy though, and super inspiring for sure. Black Panther changed the whole game in a lot of ways.
Facts.
Oh no, 100%. But for me, like people on that wall, like have been decades of me supporting them. And the youngest one would have been Nipsey, but over that time, like he did a lot for me. And I was a Nipsey fan since 2009 to whenever he passed was 2019. Yeah, so 10 years, a decade of me really supporting him as an artist. So anybody on that wall is like rarefied air. So for me, if you're going up there, it's some dope shit that you actually did for a long time in life to have that impact for me.
Solid.
Off on a tangent, but whatever. So we wrapping up on the J thing, innocent until proven guilty. We ain't touching it no more.
Yeah,
I don't,
just leave it alone.
We'll report back when more is revealed. But we gotta talk about this kind of shit because it's out there, and it is just part of our journalistic duty at this point.
It is.
It's crazy because I just had a conversation with somebody, and it was after having watched another person talk about it too, like just like how you were in broadcast. So like I'm in broadcast now. It's like, bro, like you're in broadcast. I'm like, huh? Fuck you mean? I was like, I do a pod. It's like, yeah, that's broadcast. Like, so that hit different, and it feels like you got a different responsibility when shit like this comes out. So
you gotta talk shit platform.
There we go. There we go. And that's that on that.
Yes, sir.
Moving forward, you want to talk about your boy? Let's go league.
My boy, a little
We're always going to talk a little
Simba.
league. Young Simba had 30 points.
Oh, young Simba.
You want a round of applause? I'll oblige you for giving him a round of applause.
Hey, a couple pods back, man. You said you needed to see at least a certain amount of points for you to give him the green light to that he actually deserved to be here, and he got a 30-piece. Is that enough?
All flats.
All flats is
all
crazy.
Flats, because it was all field goal attempts.
He got a 30-piece.
No free throws, hardly.
Is that enough for you to say that he should be here now, or the silence is crazy? The silence is crazy. It's not that hard of a question.
Nah, because last time we got 15, he said, "All right, do it again."
Make me
do it
seem
again.
like exactly. Make me seem like the Bronny hater.
If it's quacks like a duck, like I mean, come on.
He had one good game.
There it is. Let the hate roll out. It's coming through your pores. Go ahead and let it all out,
one
man.
Good game. Like what is why we all writing home?
One good game was what you said you needed to see.
For a start.
Any double.
Now it's a start.
Go back and check the tape because I was talking to him when it happened, and he said basically something like, I forget what exactly you said, but in response, I said to you, I need to see a collection of a body of work. I said, let's revisit this conversation at the end of the G League
drop 3
season.
albums. like, let the boy live.
All right, so
man.
I am cool. So if he dropped 30 the last joint and he come out there and put up a duck the next one, then what are we gonna say?
I don't know if he's gonna put up a duck, but he can still put
6 points and
4 rebounds.
Yeah, some shit like that in the next game.
How many minutes did he play?
26.
The same amount of minutes he played to drop 30.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they was gunning for him.
Because he's gonna play now. His jersey is had done made $50 million for the Lakers
Sold
from all the
out.
reports that I'm seeing and all that.
Talking
shit.
about he wasn't worth it to be in the league. Yeah, you're damn right. He was worth it.
Well, from an investment perspective,
in that way. And I said his jersey was gonna do numbers.
And I knew that too.
Doing numbers for one 30-point game in how long you been playing basketball this season?
I'm just saying, like, what do you need to see?
Tyler Kolick.
What do you need to see, Dwight?
Marquette legend.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Tyler Kolick.
Destroy him.
Like, what do you need to see, bro?
What you mean?
What do you need to see? It seems like
I need to see more. Like,
but you're acting like
consistently.
he's not. Because you're saying like he doesn't belong there. There's not cats doing 30 points games at all in G League, but they still in the G League.
I look up the amount of 30-point
gonna
games in the
say
G
there's a
League
lot.
right now.
But no. That's not
This
what I
season
said.
so
That's
far.
not what I said.
This
There's,
season
I said
so
there's
far.
cats that aren't doing that,
Sure.
and they're still in the G League.
There's
Like
cats that don't wear fucking socks. Like, I don't like. What do you like? I don't know.
okay, I don't know what that has to do
The
with the
one
price of
boy
rice
who
in
got
China.
drafted
But what
don't
I'm
wear shoes
saying
in the
is-
NFL. Like, there's always gonna be somebody that doesn't do something.
But he's in the league for a reason. That's what I'm trying. All I'm
Because
trying
his
to.
dad got him there.
All right.
To me.
All right. It seems like there's nothing he can do. He's gonna have to just drop 30 consistently every night. He's gonna have to walk a dog. He's gonna have to cook breakfast, and he's gonna have to call your Uber.
He
know what
got
I
to
mean? Like,
average 20 plus the rest of the season. for me to
average
even-
20 plus.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a all right.
Yeah,
That's
that's not unreasonable considering the
that's-
buckets in the G League.
Yeah, like I don't.
It's probably
I don't
like
know,
a good
It's
man.
not
30.
unreasonable.
No, it's very reasonable.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying it's a
What-
good 30
reasonable.
players.
What I'm
averaging
saying
20
is
in the G
we're-
League.
If he's
There
like
was-
that, if he's the guy that everybody says he is, let me see him put up 30s.
No
a few
one
more
says
times.
he's anything though. That's what you keep saying.
So
like-
why are we talking about him? Because he dropped 30 points then.
No, but I'm saying is you say that he wasn't even supposed to be there. Like
He's
you.
not supposed to be there. If you're
What I'm
going
saying
by,
is you don't drop 30 if you're not supposed to be somewhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
no, there's a lot of niggas that's capable of dropping 30 in the G League
And they're
right
not,
now,
and they're,
all across
and they're
the world.
not there.
All across the world,
And
there's
they're
guys
not-
that are
and
capable
they're
of
not there,
dropping.
though.
Right.
So if you
'Cause
do
their
do
dad
it
isn't
and you
LeBron
are
James.
there, that means you're supposed to be
I know
there.
a bunch of people who could drop 30 and Mike James has been one of the in and
Who?
outside of Mike
Yeah,
James, one of the
Mike
in and
James.
outside NBA players that plays EuroLeague right now in Europe, and he would drop 30 at
bucket.
least a good 10
A
times this
bucket.
season in the G League.
Yeah,
And that point means what?
Just same height as Bronny, same build pretty much. Like he's a player that is comparable to Bronny's package. Pause.
And what does that mean though?
That means there's a bunch of guys that can drop 30 right now in the G League.
So what does that mean in terms of what the
Back
person
in my
that is?
heyday, you put me like I thought like I could have dropped 30 in the G League at one point.
Okay,
It's a faster
but I'm
pace.
saying is you're saying that he's not supposed to be there
I
because
never said he's not supposed to be there. I'm saying
You
let's
said- yes,
all
you did.
acknowledge how he got there and
you
understand
literally said
that.
he wasn't supposed to be there. The only reason why he is there is because of LeBron James.
Yeah, because we're gonna keep it funky and keep it real as
with
to
the
why
with the
he's
Lakers. Yeah, being with the Lakers. I
there.
don't.
Why he's there.
Yeah,
Why he's there is because his jersey's going to sell out, and that's money for the
Yeah.
for the team. Why he's there is because he has the potential to drop 30. Like
To tease
why
you
he's there-
once in a season. Oh, look at the
All
potential
right,
now.
Never mind, man.
Like,
Listen, I feel like every time
Bronny,
it's a goalpost move,
Look,
man.
he dropped 30. He dropped 16. Look, he's capable. He's capable. Show that shit every freaking night. Like,
if you
All right,
show it every night.
All right,
just acknowledge it, man. It's all right.
I acknowledge it, but
So
he keeps asking me
you-
what I
no,
need to see,
I'm
and that's why I sound like the
acknowledge
Bronny
you're
hater.
a Bronny James. You are a Bronny James hater.
No,
bro.
you make me
Junior.
sound like a hater because you always
I'm
telling me
making
that.
you sound like
you
this.
making me sound
He
like
said
a
I'm not
hater.
a hater. I'm just not a fan.
That sounds like a hate to
That
me.
is a difference.
That's
There
not
is a
hate to
difference.
me.
No,
That's
no.
not hate.
Hate is like hate's a little
Normalize-
malicious.
I'm not
and a
saying
little
you
personal.
ugly. You just need makeup. That's the same
Normalize.
thing.
That's personal though.
Normalize
personal,
people
though.
having a healthy reservation
Right.
on another person without feeling like it's hate.
I'm gonna say normalize giving
Normalize
grace to
that.
people that are trying their best to do what they're called to do, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Give this man some grace. What do you want from this kid?
I just want him to
Well, I don't know. I just feel,
continue to develop.
He's
That's
a
all I'm
second
saying.
round
Continue
pick.
to develop. Like that's all.
Second round, 55th
You know,
pick.
Every time Bronny like
If
do
you're gonna
something
put a
positive,
caveat-
we ain't about to sit here. And
No,
write
but if
home
you're gonna
every
put a
week.
caveat on 30-point player people, make sure they're at the same level in terms of their draft pick as well. Not don't give me the first round draft pick
nah,
and then say, oh, he could do that.
Uh-uh.
But no, you're talking about
We're not doing
second
that.
round, 55th pick.
We're not doing that.
You know,
We
level
can talk
set,
about
yeah.
a bunch
I
of
was
players
gonna say,
in
you
the
know,
league
also
who wasn't
second
highly
round,
drafted
I
and
know.
did numbers in the NBA.
Jalen Brunson.
Like exactly.
Jalen Brunson.
Exactly. We ain't got to go far.
So we're saying the highest level of the player on Knicks versus
He's second round pick,
Bronny
though.
James.
second round
Second
pick.
I know, but what's your round? What pick?
42.
It don't matter.
Okay,
You're not on a
still-
guaranteed
still not-
contract.
you're
You're
still
not
not-
on a
No,
guaranteed
I'm lying.
contract.
Jalen Brunson's like 31, 32.
So you're still not at the level where Bronny was picked.
He's
First
a
and foremost.
second round pick.
Second
But
round
what
pick.
I'm saying-
second round pick is
He's a second round pick.
Yeah.
It does
I-
not matter. It's just
I
who the
hear
hell's
you.
on the board at that point.
I
Let me
hear
grab
you.
somebody.
Yeah.
But
Like-
but what you're saying that unless you do it consistently, you're not supposed to be there, right? Before you say he needed
I
to get
never
a certain,
said. I never said that you're not supposed to be there. I do understand that there are reasons, and if I did say you're not supposed to be there, then that's misspeech. I'll redact
All right,
that
that's
and
cool.
clean it up now.
That's cool.
I know why he's there. I'm saying there's a bunch of other people that are better than Bronny that could have that spot.
And
That's
would
all
have
I'm
never
saying.
sold out their jersey.
So what? I don't care about that.
They do.
That part
They
doesn't.
do.
That part doesn't fucking
It's
matter.
always
to
about
me.
the money.
I'm not worried about their money because that's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
The purest part of the game in me understands that there's a bunch of other people that you can put in that same position and they do a lot better with what they've been given so far. And that's all I'm saying.
That's
Like,
fair.
and not to sound like a hater on the kid, because again, I understand why you're there. But if I gotta sit there and talk about every time you drop 10 points or 15 points or 30 points, then for me it's like we're gonna really shine a light on why you there. And we've talked about this shit for months now. Like the kid, hopefully he does well with his life and career. There are a bunch of other people that are better than him that if you put in that spot, you'd have heard 30 points a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like already is
Interesting.
from my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's
And
fair.
you can go anywhere. You can talk about players here. You can talk about players overseas too, because there's a bunch of dogs overseas that I believe can get 30 in the league right now.
Yeah.
Like right now, and not even the league, the G League, the actual league. Like
Yeah.
the actual league.
Lonnie Walker's balling right now. He just
Right.
went overseas.
You know, serviceable NBA player when he was here. He's doing very well over there. We heard about, we talked, spoke about Jabari Parker on this podcast. Like, there's guys that can hoop all over the freaking world, and these are the guys that like are more highly touted. There's dudes overseas that people don't even fucking know about, or will look at and be like, "Oh, I remember when he used to play for so and so in college." That's having big careers over there
Isn't
right
that
now.
unfair to put all of the weight of the entire international basketball that people aren't in the league on the shoulders of Bronny James because he took
Not
one
when your
spot?
dad, not when your dad's LeBron
Like
James.
that's just unfair to Bronny. He didn't
Not when
ask
you-
to be LeBron James' son. He just
Right.
is LeBron James' son.
Sure.
And he's still performing adequately. I'm not even gonna give him great. Adequately under the pressure that is being LeBron James' son.
The whole argument that's been going on for months is LeBron's fault. And I know we just
Yeah.
said that last episode,
Yo,
so we're
y'all
right back
gotta
to
stop.
that.
Y'all
Like
gotta stop
Bronny didn't
with
ask for
this.
none of this.
Yeah,
I
I mean
gotta
they
stop,
wrote the
Bronny didn't ask to be
They wrote the
LeBron's
script.
son.
They wrote the
Like,
script on
he
it.
writes the script. He controls the narrative.
Yep.
Like it is his fault that all this pressure comes down on his son,
Yeah.
Oh, maybe when they go to the Golden State Warriors. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that.
and that ain't gonna happen. I don't believe that's gonna happen either.
Listen,
I don't believe that's gonna
look,
happen.
I don't
So
have.
this whole LeBron saga shit is
inside
getting
information. I
very
don't have
tricky
that.
right now. People speculating about why he's out and all this other shit.
Personal reasons. Let that man have his reasons.
Yeah, my joints hurt and I'm fucking old.
Here you
Like,
go. Here you was the
we
one talking
na-
about when your fingers don't work the same.
No doubt. I can relate, LeBron. I'm sorry. I don't got $1 million to spend on my ears. So what I'm feeling right now is a lot worse than what you probably feeling because you got better treatment than I do.
You getting the real father time.
Right. Father time hits for real. Like
Yeah.
you can prolong that shit for as long as you can with all the treatment in the world. Your ass is gonna get old at some point. Like
Smug. Yo, get your Geritol.
and when you
man.
want to play the game with no minutes restriction and all the other shit, your ass is going to have to shut it down for personal
Shut
reasons
it
at some point.
down.
Call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want. My man Shams already said his foot is fucked up, but that's why he's out.
Yeah, that's fair. He did have the foot situation.
Right.
That's three years ago. He
And
had
when
that.
you get old,
Yeah.
it's harder to recover.
trying to say he got gout.
The injuries are harder to recover from, LeBron. Like,
Yeah.
Nah, I was just messing, yo. But listen, I'm done off the Bronny
Yeah,
James.
let's
Here's
lay
what.
off the kid.
No more Bronny James talk on the pod for at least the rest of the season,
Please.
so we can at least see the numbers at the end of the G League season.
Get a sample size.
Let's get a sample size. Then we'll talk about Bronny James again. I'm done defending the kid. Hopefully, Bronny, you hear me. Whenever you want to invite me out, let me come out to LA and
And Bronny,
you know what I'm
ain't
saying? We'll play
getting
some
us
Call of
enough
Duty
clicks
or
like
whatever,
that
man. I'll
anyway.
come out there, support you. I've been riding for you, Bronny, since the day you got in the league, and you earned every bit of it, man.
Ronnie will talk about you when you start getting us some more clicks. Like I'm just gonna keep it funky because I'm gonna waste time talking about somebody. The return on investment for viewership and
crazy.
all that shit better be a lot
Crazy.
higher, Bronny. So I'm gonna need you to just buckle down and continue to develop, young man. And that's that. You know, keep it in league, I guess. NBA Cup. Do we even give a fuck? Like I don't like.
I really don't.
I'ma just say this.
NBA Cup, man. Why you keep hating on the Cup?
Because you don't even know who, you didn't even realize
Listen,
the cup had
why you hating
the
on-
final.
you
It was
hating on
about
the
to
cup.
continue.
It's
Like,
gonna be
hating on the
it's gonna be a
cup.
hell of a series.
It's gonna be
It's
a hell,
one game.
It's gonna be a hell of a
Waldo
series
thought
of games.
Waldo
man. It's
didn't even
gonna be good.
realize we had the cup finals.
Listen,
yet.
listen. It's still the NBA Cup. I appreciate it. It's the greatest thing to NBA since the
He was
7-game
busy.
series.
He didn't get to
Easy.
catch up with the cup.
Since the
It's
7-game
easy to get
series.
lost. It's easy to get lost in the cup.
So much
man.
going on out here. Like,
There's a lot going on. You seen the UFOs? It's a lot, man.
I told y'all.
I'm blaming on the
See?
aliens, man. There's a lot going on out here.
See, I ain't gonna go on a tangent, but
No,
see,
no, no.
that shit heating up again.
It is.
That shit heating up. They
What
talking
up?
about that shit a lot.
They've been playing iRobot every day on TV too, bro. I'm not even joking. I never
They
seen
trying to
it.
groom
I never
us.
even seen
They
it. I was
grooming
watching
y'all
some
for
of it.
some
I was
shit.
like,
Jersey looking wild. You seen all the things going on in Jersey with the drones and everything flying around?
It's
I was like,
over.
oh,
There was
no.
one. There was one out here this way too.
I ain't see where's it at.
what did you say? Push the red
There was
button,
one
right?
out here.
Oh no.
There was one out here. I
Not
just seen
over-
that shit yesterday.
Not over my way, I hope. It wasn't
Nah,
about
I
me.
mean,
Yeah, it wasn't
I
about
ain't,
me.
I ain't, you know.
Stay over on that side of the bridge. Over there. Go over there.
There
go
was
over
one
that
close
side.
by.
Mhm.
Push the button, right?
Facts.
Push the off button.
Push the fucking off button. I keep
Nah, I'm
telling you this
good.
shit. The aliens though, there ain't no off button for that shit. I had a whole conversation about that shit with Queen Christine yesterday, actually. I said, I just hope they pop out so we know what their intentions are. We can move accordingly.
What
You
you
know.
mean? I mean, I feel like they wouldn't come after us though, right?
If the aliens pop out, there's only really so many scenarios you can envision as to why they're here, right? And walk along with me, then just.
I'm
I'm
gonna
like, where
let
are we
this
going?
one rock.
Where are we
We went from NBA Cup to aliens. Go.
I mean, the NBA trash, man. Jimmy Butler's getting traded. They want LeBron to go to the
Golden
Warriors.
State,
I
yeah.
I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I watch the Cup Finals, but fuck that shit. Right now, aliens. So there's only so many outcomes that could happen from this shit. They either have come to wipe us out, they hostile, or they're here for research
Fair.
to take back to their land, wherever the fuck they are, and however long it takes them to do that. Or they're here to help us like grow and cultivate a different kind of humanity that we can then advance ourselves, right?
There's a few scenarios you're missing, but
Like what?
I mean, there's tons of movies where you've seen like Predator, where they use this as their hunting grounds.
Yeah, but that's
Or,
hostile.
you know what I'm saying?
All that shit is hostile. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Right, right.
Or they could drop people off to or pick people up to like repopulate their lands, or
Hostile.
that's not hostile. That can be
That's hostile. If you
all right,
kidnapping
that's fair.
niggas, that's hostile.
What?
Kidnapping niggas is
They might
hostile.
not understand that's like against the law here, but that's hostile act.
Yeah. I
So
see.
hostile, they are
It's like farming. Mm-hmm.
hostile research, or again, they're trying to help us grow.
Okay, that's fair.
Once they pop out and they
Show
make their
niggas.
intentions pop out and show niggas what y'all here for, then we can move accordingly. Because if they're here to help us grow, then that means that society is going to go to a different kind of place with the technology and all the other shit that they got, and just being able to help us advance as a society and a species. Right?
Why is it always assumed that aliens are smarter than us?
Well, in
Because
order
of
to travel,
technology.
in order to travel, yeah, in
The
order to
technology.
travel through
They say
space.
that there's
Well,
no
yeah,
way
that's
that the
good.
ships can move.
If
We
they
don't have
get-
anything
if
that
they get
moves
here,
like
it's
that.
Yeah,
assumed,
just
yeah,
just
you know
by
what I'm
getting
saying?
here
That makes
proves
sense.
you're smarter.
Right.
Exactly.
You know
It
what I'm
proves
saying?
that you
and just
reached a
by
level
being
of
here for as long as
technology.
they've been here, and they ain't been no real confirmation on, yo, there's a fucking alien here. Like
Right.
that kind
There's
of
been a lot of speculation.
I
Right.
feel like
it's all
the
speculation.
fact
you
that
know?
I just asked that question probably just proved their fucking point.
Nah, that's right. Right. Y'all dumbasses don't even really
Like,
know
how the
we
fuck
here
would
yet.
you don't even know
Like,
how to leave,
How the
man.
fuck-
Y'all still using gasoline. Like,
I'm saying facts.
Jet
So
fuel.
we've
man.
we
Y'all
can
y'all
we can
barely
bet
in
that
the
they're
nebula.
smarter.
you barely in the
We can
nebula,
bet
that's
that they're
crazy.
smarter, right? So if
Bet
they're
you
here to
don't
help
know.
us, then that's great for us. If they're here to kill us, then some of us is fucked. But I also believe if they're here to kill us, that they're gonna keep some of us as their slaves, because
I mean-
they're gonna need some kind of tap into the society, unless they just want to wipe us out for resources or whatever. But
Yeah, I think
hopefully
they
they
need
keep some of us
to-
as their slaves. And what I said to her was that if they're here for the hostile intent, then I might sign up to be a slave, because I think it'd be kind of cool to see what they can do
Yo, you sign up to be a slave
While-
is crazy.
while they kill the rest of y'all
Yeah,
niggas.
that's a boy.
Is what I said. I said
signing up for slavery is
I
crazy.
said I
bro.
can go one of two ways.
I can go 2 ways.
I can
bro.
go out in a blaze of glory, like fuck this shit. I'm going out
Yeah,
guns
that's
blazing,
how I'm
and I'm
going
going
out.
to die, and then
What
we
you
just out of here. And
mean?
shit is done. Or I'm like, yo, sign me up, like, and then I'm
Nah,
gonna hang with
straight.
y'all.
I'm straight, bro.
And then
Listen,
see
I
what
don't
kind
wanna
of shit
see
y'all capable
I don't
of.
want to see nothing else.
What Fab say? He
Take
said-
me out the
He said,
game.
"I'd rather live high and what do you say? I'd rather die.
I'd rather live high and die than live and duck.
I'd rather die. What do you say?
I forget. I know the line you're talking
Rather
about.
hold my head high and die than
Right,
live and
than
duck.
live and duck, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I'm.
I
That's
might
fair.
live and duck if I'm just
I ain't
being
submitting
honest.
shit.
Look, aliens.
Just because I want to see what that shit gonna look like after.
aliens gotta have.
It might be some shit where like, yo, y'all, you right. A lot of these
not
niggas
being
was
no
tripping.
slave.
and-
bro. Sign up for
Look,
slavery.
the water levels,
Pass.
we did not fucking up the society anymore. Like
I'm
your
passing
technology
on all
has
that.
has grown. Like the
Traffic,
trees has grown
traffic
back.
on the highway is just crazy open.
You know what I'm
No
saying?
traffic.
I mean,
Thanos be like, I'm just gonna say
Thanos,
that.
but you also got to understand
Thanos.
there's a lot of other pieces of that puzzle. Like if our infrastructure gets cut in half, there's a lot of things that we need to keep things functioning, from internet to
For as many people as we got now, yeah.
Yeah, we got to maintain a lot of this network.
If you take away half, then it ain't gonna be that many people.
But there ain't gonna be enough things to go around.
There's gonna be half of niggas that understand how to run all that shit
Exactly.
after, and they still gonna have the brain to be able to do it.
Maybe we gotta have to procreate a lot to get everything back up to where we need it to be.
Listen, man, if y'all here, then just pop out and let me know what's up, and that's all I'm saying.
Hey, man,
That's all I'm saying.
Shouts to the AT aliens.
You know, facts.
Yeah, I mean, it also could be that it's us from the future. That's another like theory
I don't believe that.
that because when you have time and space, it can change. And
I hear all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one theory, but
Yeah.
that's one I don't subscribe to.
yeah, I mean, we didn't know aliens was real until a couple of weeks ago, right?
We knew they
So
was
now
real.
we can start to look
been
at
knew
the
the
world a
aliens
little
was
bit
real.
differently.
Yeah.
Keep it funky. We've been to the aliens.
It's kind
was
of
real.
hard to think there's all these other planets and there's no other civilization on
We've
any
been knew
of
they
them.
was real, bro.
I don't know, bro.
We've been knew they
I
was
don't know.
real.
I've always questioned all of that until pretty much when the press conference or the hearing in the U.S. hearing, they were like, yeah, there's UFOs and they're biologically not of this world. I'm like, oh.
This is a way better combo than the NBA Cup, by the way.
It's more interesting if we just gonna keep it funky.
Way more interesting.
I'd rather go on that tangent than sit there and talk about freaking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and him dropping 32 points last night when everybody's dropping 30 and 40 and 50. Like,
Even Bronny James.
And everybody's hurt. I'm gonna keep saying it,
Drew
bro.
keep rolling back to that.
Sorry.
Everybody's hurt.
Your boy got hurt.
Victor did good,
Tangent.
too.
Oh,
Fingernail from the Sixers.
oh, yeah. Everybody's hurt.
Yeah, he's out indefinitely
Everybody's hurt.
now. Yeah,
Everybody's
man.
hurt.
It's fucked up in the league. The league is
Everybody's-
trash right now. I'm just gonna say that.
You don't like the league, huh?
I ain't.
I'm fully on board with that
The
statement.
league is trash right now.
hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
It's
for
hard
real.
to watch and it's very. It's like it's hard.
It's not the NBA I grew up on. Like, it's really
not.
It's really
It's not.
I mean, y'all sound
I'm
like
still
that.
gonna
y'all
watch
sound like y'all, like era
Because
loyalists.
like you said, we be talking like it takes the beauty and the art of it, like even the strategy to some degree. It's
I
like
wish I could have found that clip. That shit was perfect. The kid that made that clip about Jordan Poole.
I know what you're talking about. I think I was all the bad shots. Yo, he took 23s in a game. Like what the hell?
And they was talking about why he's so inconsistent
Yeah.
because he just shoots a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Bullshit
But
shots.
then was giving real stats and real numbers on the league about like how the shit looks right now.
yeah.
And it's literally all 5 players standing around the 3-point line. There's
Yeah.
no post game. There's no like it's just.
And then you would think too, right? When you press up, right? What do you taught when people press up on you in the 3-point line? Backdoor it. Ain't no backdoor. Everybody's just pushing further and shooting further back now. When
Exactly.
you got to earn that, right, bro? It should only be a handful of motherfuckers that could do that for
The
real.
kid said,
Or
and I
allowed
wish I
to.
could find the clip, and I'm mad I can't at this point. But the kid said, "I'm looking at NBA players who have the basketball IQ of people in the rec leagues.
They really do.
Literally, that's how the game
like,
looks like it's
crazy.
being played right now.
Exactly.
In the NBA, the highest level of basketball.
Yep.
But not for nothing, European basketball is still litty. If you
Mm-hmm.
check out the Euro League and some games over there, basketball looks a lot less like nasty.
Do we incorporate the FIFA rules and then bring it to NBA?
I don't even think that's gonna change it. It's a mentality thing. I feel like.
Yeah, at this point, it's mentality for me.
Yeah, and
What
like,
if we make the NBA a little bit more broad?
That's
Have
up. That's
a
up
couple
to.
teams
That's up to the
from
league
each
of
country,
GMs.
maybe.
Nah.
They were talking about something like
Logistically, it's
that.
too hard to pull off. That's why they backed off of it a while ago.
Yeah.
Logistically, it's nuts. With the NBA schedule, 82 games, and then you got to factor in
travel and all
from
that, yeah.
cross-continental type shit. Like
Time
that's a
zones
lot.
and all that.
It is a lot. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's not.
That's a lot. So they were exploring that from what I understood back when I heard they was exploring that back when I was still playing professionally and all that, and I had a little bit more insight on it. They was like, shit too hard to pull off.
I mean, I could see a
And
way
there's
it could
like
be done.
growth of the game, but there's also like, you know, they'd have to play a lot less games. They'd have to, and that also goes against some of the things that they have contractually with like TV rights and all of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
And then to
yeah.
figure it out because you can't use TV rights in ESPN, like who they sell to overseas is
Yep.
different.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember watching games overseas that were NBA games. It would be the actual visual of the game, like the ESPN, like everything, the interface that they use to put the score up and all the other shit. It would be that, and then they would have local like sportscasters talking
Broadcast
about.
network. Yeah.
Like in France, it would be the NBA, like the TNT or ESPN game on, but they would have local French people like commentating the game.
Yeah.
So it gets like there's a lot of parts
of
of it you got to
pieces.
try to figure out.
The
with
only
that.
way it could work, and this is my my vision, NBA Cup, you have obviously all the games that you would need to have for the players in the NBA season, but you include those teams into the NBA Cup as potential play-in teams, and you'll have teams from the NBA playing against those teams, and those, if you lose those games, it doesn't count towards obviously your season total, but it does count towards the NBA Cup. Then you add in those teams. Cool. Yeah, those teams would have to come, and it would be like just kind of like the Olympics. You would have to rent out a whole spot and bring out those teams to play in those areas, and they would play in like one location, like Las Vegas or something like that.
But then tie it all in there. Intermingle that shit into an NBA season when you're not actually in the NBA, I think it's too tricky.
Yeah,
I mean,
or maybe they it's people who make a lot more money and is a lot more intelligent with the logistics out of it than me to figure that shit out. But if they backed off of it, I think it's for a good enough reason.
But they would only be a part of the NBA Cup, not the whole season.
That's true. Yeah. But then you got to make the players care about that shit too. And these motherfuckers don't even care about
that. $500,000 is worth something.
It don't look like it.
Yeah,
not to max players.
It don't look like that. Yeah. And it also don't look like it, which is even more down this NBA and basketball wormhole, that, the way the shit is now with the younger players is fucking up the future of basketball.
What you mean, like the NILs and all that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The number one player in high school basketball right now,
multi-million-dollar deal with Nike.
Right. They say he makes more than, I want to pull up the right number.
All his teachers?
No, fuck teachers. They say he makes more than a huge percentage of the NBA. And he ain't even touched the floor in college yet.
Yep.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Shouts to economic empowerment and all of that other shit, but it also lends to like the mentality of players as far as the future of basketball.
They should have been doing this. It's not the problem that they got the money now. The problem is that they should have always had it.
Sure, that's true. That's true, but it also then changes the game.
It does.
The integrity becomes kind of compromised.
And the integrity of the game, you lose it too.
You can,
which is
when it becomes a business.
Part of the problem.
And it's getting to be a business earlier and earlier now.
It is. Interesting enough clip, since we on it, I'm going to play it here because it kind of resonated with me for sure off this whole issue.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of my boys. Well, I'm going to have him on at some point. So I'm giving you love on the pod. I need you to show up. But he's coming off of an injury right now, so I got to give him respect to that. But
get well soon, brother.
He said some interesting things about the game, and it kind of ties along. And he put Penny Hardaway in it too. So let's do it. Oops.
Regarding current
running
college,
back from the top.
Recently, we posted a video regarding current college NIL deals and how they, as a whole, will affect professional leagues, not only here in America, but across the world.
And the post was good. It was very in-depth.
People slid into our DMs a little confused, and they needed an explanation. The argument stems from players that are currently not the hungriest to continually play after they exhausted their college experience is going to be a stretch. How do you go from making $30,000 to maybe going overseas and making 4 to 5? That doesn't make sense. That's hustling backward. Then we saw this podcast featuring Memphis legend Penny Hardaway, the head coach of the university. He said this.
Guys are saying, hey man, I ain't even caring about the league. If I could get $2 million back to back, I can just ride off in the sunset. I can go look at the league a little bit. If it don't work, I got this money to fall back on. They're looking at it as fallback money. They ain't even thinking, I got to grind this year to get to the league. Because, that was a motivation. Yeah. It ain't the motivation no more. They like, I can take this money and just ride off in the sunset. So whatever they bring it to the table, right, on that year is what they bring it to the table. You can't hurry them. You can't make them go harder. It's like, this is me.
Hey, but what do I know?
So what's the argument? I'm sorry.
There is no argument.
Yeah.
The statement is that the future of the game looks very, very shaky.
That's fair. That's fair.
And if everybody wants the money,
it should be.
If everybody wants the money is going to dry up at some point. Like, if basketball is not interesting enough for people to want to invest in,
right, then
all that money that everybody's getting is going to dry out at some point.
Yeah.
Especially with the economy going the way they say it's going to go.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, players can make money. And again, there's economic empowerment that I support. Like, get your money. I am a firm believer in athletes on the younger level being able to earn $1. I support it. I would actually love to help some young people be able to earn $1 by making them, talented enough or skilled enough to then want somebody or have somebody be like, here's a check for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I do support that. But the mentality of the players is the different thing that you can't really, that people didn't really prepare for with all this shit that's happening. Like, you give players money too early to where they feel too entitled to this is how I should be treated, then it ain't gonna be that way everywhere. Like you said, U.S. is a very different place as far as basketball goes. Now, especially. These guys in college, these girls in college, these young women, men are making millions. Some of them, you know, not to say everybody, but even the ones that ain't making millions is making a pretty decent living compared to what I had when I was in college.
Facts.
And again, not to sound like an old hater or anything like that, but that also changes how you go forward in the game of basketball. When there's only 450 spots in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
There's only so many spots in the G League.
That's what I'm saying.
Overseas isn't going to necessarily match the money that they're making in college.
No.
So now, all right, I ain't fucking with that overseas shit.
Fair.
I'm done after college. So what are you going to do now? That $1 million or $2 million ain't going to last you the rest of your life. Are you investing it properly? Are you doing the right things with it to create real financial and like stability and all that stuff for yourself, your family, whoever, as you go forward in life? Or are you going to be the young dumb nigga who gets a bunch of money too young and doesn't really have a good enough grasp on how to make that shit stretch, which a lot of us are at that point, and blow it and then be fucked up out here with no real money and no real like path with the talent that God gave you to earn money for a little bit longer?
I mean,
I'm saying?
It sounds like they could possibly benefit from support from the EFS Foundation.
Sure. In that way, because I'm going to keep it funky with you.
You see how I plugged you?
I'm gonna keep it funky with you. Make the money in college, sure. Take the $1 million or whatever they're gonna make it in college. Try the league, sniff the league. If you ain't got it, then cool. You ain't gonna make the league. There's still basketball and there's still life to be like made overseas playing basketball other places. Like, is my perspective. So don't then say fuck it and then I ain't gonna mess with that shit because I got $1 million or $2 million already. When some money is better than no money with no skills or no plan or no real like understanding of what your next 5 to 10 years look like.
5 to 10.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like to me, you set yourself up for a fucked up dynamic as far as players coming up the pipeline when before the goal was this, you know. And as fucked up as it was, as many millions of dollars as my team made, our university, our basketball team made for our university back then. Like at Marquette, keeping it funky, we funded other teams' athletic programs off of the money that we was pulling in because they wasn't making enough like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Marquette wasn't a football school. Basketball was the main thing. Marquette basketball generates millions of dollars every year. So for me to not be able to get a piece of that, it was like, damn, I guess it's just a lay of the land. Fuck it, got to keep working to where I can be a pro and then make a check, you know? So there's great parts to the players being able to get paid earlier, but the mentality of these players right now is different than what we've seen before.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not to say across the board, there's some that are school right, come up in the right pipeline, understand like this is this and that is that, keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
Like there are players that still fall true to that. I'm saying the landscape is a lot more the former than what I just said. Like, you know, it's a lot of those kind of guys, and I just think it really just makes you look at basketball going forward like, damn, like, are we fucking doomed? You know?
Nah, we're not, because we have people like you that are doing their part to create programs and systems that support youth athletes and give them the guidance and the nurture, you know what I mean? Nurture them on a path towards their success after college, during college, you know, overseas, if they're G League, if they're NBA, like we have to lay the seeds that will grow into a harvest that's going to be a bountiful set of youth for the future of the game. Yeah, you got to pass the torch. You know what I'm saying? That's part of what we have as men, as leaders. We have to pave that way so it looks brighter in the future. Of course, there's going to be dark days, and of course, there's some people that don't take it seriously. But if we do our part in that moment, getting them down that path and guiding them along the way, I mean, the future's going to be even brighter. I can see people bringing back. There's always going to be a dip. Remember when Soulja Boy came out? And everybody went crazy. This is the end of hip-hop. Hip-hop is dead. Now we got Kendrick Lamar. Like, we give it time, and things are going to change.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen that, like, it's like a phoenix. It has to burn up sometimes so that it can rebirth something beautiful and new.
Yeah.
And from that rebirth will be youth that take care of the fundamentals, that make sure they know the pick and roll, make sure they get they mid-range jumper ready, and also are gonna be people that pour into other kids after them and carry the legacy on. You know what I mean? You had mentors. You had Big Bill Russell, right? He was a mentor to you, right?
I mean, Bill, we just met cut through Marquette. I wouldn't say
Look, I
exactly
tried to give you a
mentor.
little oop. Anyway, the point of the matter is,
I'm keeping it funny because I ain't going to people
Nah, I
like
know, I
people
said-
pull my car like nigga,
Yeah,
you ain't
yeah,
no
yeah,
Bill
yeah,
Russell
Russell,
like
yeah,
that.
but
Nigga,
nah.
not the great Bill Russell. Like,
nah, but
I've
what I'm
been in his
saying
presence.
is,
Real good dude.
You can take a lot just from being around somebody and soak up their energy, their essence, and then like, man, I want to be like. Sometimes I've met people, like I've met the Clips. Like, man, I want to be like, you know what I
stay
mean?
in that moment.
Just to be like in that energy for a little bit was enough to like, oh, I want to be on stage. I was at Harlem Week and I was a young boy watching them, you know what I'm saying, Harlem Week on concert. I'm like, man, this is early. When they just dropped Grinding, I was like, this is fire. And I was like, man, I want to do that further and further as I got older. And guess what? I ended up on stage. Not saying I owed my whole career to them, but just being there was enough.
Right,
and I say the same thing. I remember my young boy at my wedding. My young boy talked about you and how you was there at his school. You was giving him game and telling him about what I'm saying, the future of basketball and what you overcame to get there. And it's like you don't know how many people you're touching just by showing up. You know what I mean? You ever see a kid at a little play and they're looking around the room until they see their parents and they go all smiling happy? Presence is so important. So if we can show up for these young athletes that may be making more money than they ever had, helping their family, make sure they don't blow the bag, giving them some financial guidance, make sure they don't injure themselves, make sure their nutrition is right. We can help them along the way so that they can build the league back up to the greatness that you guys are era loyalists want it to be. You got students and kids right now that you're teaching and giving guidance to. You don't think that your presence being there is helping to pave a future for, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it matters. I ain't saying it don't matter because I wouldn't be doing anything I'm doing if I just believe like fuck it, like all these young niggas are stupid and don't want to listen and all that other
that's
shit.
the cynical side. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna keep doing that, but it's just like I need one first. Like I ain't got one that made it to get a bag yet. So
That's
know,
fair.
And the groundwork is being laid. I'm just saying, as the landscape all across is kind of wild, but I mean, come on over to the EFS Foundation. Like we're gonna be, we'll get you on the right path. Shameless plug, I guess.
Come on, let's do it, man. Why we here?
No, we definitely got a good brand of what we have to offer. With your training and stuff, and just the knowledge and all that. And I think like for me, like, and I know people probably felt this way when the 3-point shot was first invented, but since I've been watching, I've seen the game evolve, but I feel like right now it's not evolving; it's just changing, and I don't like it. That's like where I'm at with it.
It's evolved so much that it's like it's watered itself down.
It's watered down certain positions and stuff. It's like
it evolved too much.
It's a lot more uniform now, like 1 through 5.
Yeah,
more than it ever has been. To where it's taking the beauty out of like the post play and just a lot of like just.
That's the part
really
that hurts
concepts.
the most for me as a interior player, like inside, outside player. I know I did play like versatile in general, but I hate the fact there's no inside game right now.
Yeah.
It's just like. There's only a few players that play on the block consistently, and that shit to me is like it's a poor brand of basketball.
Back inside.
Oh shit, I'm hitting buttons and shit. But yeah, I mean it's just different, man.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's not just basketball though. It's the NFL too. I don't know if you heard about the De'Vondre Campbell.
Yeah,
situation.
mentality
of people in sports is like I don't care. And that's it's sad because you'll see it from Starbucks to ShopRite. Like people don't care. Like I literally had the dude in the ShopRite had headphones on. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah, nah.
And he was
they
like,
be on that shit now.
I'm like, what you mean? No.
At work with headphones on.
Headphones on, and I'm asking him something. He was like, nah. Now it turns out he wasn't a ShopRite employee. It was like a Coke dude who was like doing stuff, like putting the Cokes up. So he wasn't actually could help me with my question. But it was just like, yo, you didn't even
be engaging.
You didn't even engage me. Like
you're at work.
He was like, nah. I'm like,
Zombies,
what's nah
man.
mean?
Still at work.
Zombies is what I call them.
I look at that, and obviously the De'Vondre situation is another piece of this whole puzzle where he's on the field, suited up to play, and they're getting ready to put him in, and he's like, nah, and walks off the field. But it speaks to the bigger narrative that people do not care. There used to be this undertone of loyalty, honor, respect, and a lot of that is like, man, I don't care about all that.
There's a lot of
I keep doing that.
There's a lot of unwritten rules in sports. That's like numero uno. Like you can't like And it's like the ultimate like selfish act too. Even if you don't feel like, especially on a football team, you're icing out like 50 people, bro. You know, like, you ain't icing out like 9 or 10 on a basketball team. So it's like even deeper. And then, you know, at the professional level, you start to think about all the folks that would like give anything to just be in that position, regardless of the money, just to like be on that level and feel like you made it, and just to kind of take it for granted in some aspect. Now we don't know the full story why he didn't, but from everything I've heard, it just seemed like he just didn't give a fuck and didn't want to, which I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's just quitting, and you don't like to see that on a professional level as well. Like, you got, like, we talk about assuming the responsibility of like just people looking up to you and all that kind of stuff. So it was great, and it just the reaction to like his teammates and coach. I've never seen people be like that raw about a motherfucker that's definitely getting cut like on TV.
I mean, they fed
And
up.
I mean, you
Cancer.
should. You
Locker
should.
room cancer
Yeah,
is what
you
they
should,
call
but
them.
it was eye opening that he did it. But I was kind of like glad to see that like people held him accountable like on that kind of like stage too, because like that's a big no regardless of the sport or any kind of like competition. Period.
I mean, I can't get behind it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm never the person to not go in the game. And it's, I'll be honest, there's some games where I ain't want to fucking go in. Like, in situations where I wouldn't get no burn, like we up like 20 points, it's like the fourth quarter, or like, the second half, because it was a lot of college when you know, I had some of those feelings.
Right.
And they just like, all right, get out there, play, you know, let the starters rest, you go. And I'm just like, fuck this shit. Like, I don't want to play right now. But again, you got to go out there and, like, put on for like the mentality of just like, fuck it, I'm willing to do whatever I can with whatever I'm given to maybe create a little bit more opportunity for myself, you know.
Yeah.
And it's corny shit, but a lot of these young kids do corny shit now, you know. And it's not to say that shit didn't exist in our era, because I've been witness to a lot of corny shit, you know. But that to me, you know, I'm glad that they called him out in the way they did.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't heard anything from that story, and
that's why I said I don't know if it's deeper.
Right.
Like,
you know, I haven't heard anything from that story, but what I'm being presented, so the optics on that shit looks super nasty.
The service level,
You know, on the service level, your coach puts you in the game, play the game, bro. You know.
Right, you're standing right there.
Right there. You know. So
let me say this. I see it both ways. I'm probably the only one. I'm like in minority, and I know that. I see it from both ways, because there's been many a times where I've come to work, I'm ready, I'm dressed, ready to go, and I'm just like, you know what? I ain't got it today. Thought I did. Thought I had it on me. Thought I was ready to do this. And then somebody asked me to do something, and I'm like, I might go off on you. I actually don't want to do this today. I gotta go. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. So I'm not saying that to say you can't be upset with his decision or that his decision was right. I'm just saying I can empathize with what he did to a degree, not knowing what his mental state was, where he was internally. And I don't want to judge anyone based off their worst day, right? So this is a bad moment in his life where he chose selfishness or his self over his team and what he's signed up to do. I'm big on, if you got to have integrity. If you're called to do something, you know, don't put your name in the hat if you don't want it to get pulled, right?
Yeah.
So if you are called to do something, do it to the best of your ability, fully. And in that, I can totally understand people being upset, people thinking that's not right. But I'm also looking at this man, I'm like, he knew the gravity of the decision that he was making, and he still chose to make it. So something was internally going, like it was swirling inside him to the point where he had no other choice than the choice that he made. Because he knew on the backlash side that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So for me, whatever he was feeling, man, I'm going to say he must have really been feeling some turmoil internally.
Yeah.
To reach the point where he was going to walk away from his entire team and possibly the NFL as a whole. Because I don't know if any other team is ever going to pick you up.
That's the next part of it.
Yeah.
But that's what
like,
I'm saying.
whatever you going through.
Like, he's going through something.
Whatever you going through.
Something.
Hopefully you get over it, but fuck all that. You might have cost yourself a job in the NFL. Like,
but if it's worth it,
then retire.
Then he should have never suited up.
Don't come back and
right. But I don't know if he didn't realize that moment until he got to that moment. That's why it's hard for me. Like, did he not realize internally what he was feeling until the moment they asked him to go in.
Yeah.
And
whatever
then,
it is,
I don't know. I'm just
you
looking
gotta
at it.
have, to me,
It's a lot.
again, the optics
It's a
on it
lot.
look terrible.
Horrible.
Like,
Horrible
and
moment.
you might have cost yourself a job in the NFL.
A $5 million contract.
And the
he has.
NFL gonna get you out of there way quicker than even the NBA will.
I
Sometimes.
wonder if it's because he has
like,
4.56 something like that guaranteed based off of my source on the internet. But if he has that guaranteed, even if they cut him, does he still get that money? Because he might still be good.
I mean, it probably
If they
specifies
cut
in
him-
the contracts and stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you're physically unable to perform or you're just like
there's
unwilling.
clauses and shit.
Yeah,
that-
Yeah, there's
regarding like
clauses.
unwilling to play.
acts
yeah.
that are detrimental to team, like all that kind of
Team
wording and all that
conduct, yeah.
shit. Like they'll find a way to pay you as little as they need to on the way out if you fucking around like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my thing. Like whatever you're going through, I hope that shit is worth it because
man.
for you to be now under this much scrutiny and then again potentially not about to play football
crazy.
anymore if nobody wants to pick you up because word travels, that shit is all over the news. So
Everybody know, yeah.
they know you, and now you might have cost yourself other opportunities going like in the future.
Maybe
and
he
to
can
me,
go
that's
to the Canadian Football League. Who knows?
Do we
they
see?
it don't matter what league. Like
just
messing with
that's
you. I'm messing with
cancerous behavior.
Yeah,
And it's
it
not
is,
to
it
say
is.
that people haven't done that shit in the past. It looks away, and that shit.
You don't see it at that level though a lot at all.
Nah, not really.
Mm-mm.
Or again, have some communication about what you're dealing with as far as why you don't want to go in
Yeah.
at that moment. You
Right.
know,
Antonio
and I know
Brown
things
did it too,
happen
though, remember
fast
that?
to where, and look where the fuck he at.
That's
Like,
fair. That's fair. That's
look
fair.
where he at. Like,
That's fair. That's fair.
Get your ass out the
He
league.
went to the AFL. He got an AFL team for a little bit there.
And that for him is like dumbing himself down.
It is.
compared to where
So-
he should be at in his potential and all of the shit. So to me, it's like don't fuck up your bag for a moment. To me, like,
Yeah.
and again, I've been in those situations to where it's like, man, this motherfucker want to put me in the game now. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been ready to play since fucking the shit started. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is a thing for, and I don't know the actual reason. So this is just me spitballing off of
Speculating,
what
yeah.
I'm being given or what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, go in the game and do something because you
Fair.
put yourself in a lot worse position going forward than whatever you standing on in that moment. You know,
Yeah.
and sometimes standing on business don't get your ass sat down for real. You know,
Yeah.
like
But imagine if he went in the game and like didn't do any of the like he didn't play hard and he was just like letting the lineman pass by. him.
That's probably
That'd have
even
been worse.
That's even worse.
That'd have been worse.
But
Like I'm
it
looking at all the.
it
Shouldn't
don't
say
look
that.
worse. It's you can get past that shit a lot easier than you all over the internet and the news
Well,
and
yeah,
all the
yeah,
sports cycles because your ass didn't go in and now they got
That's
your face
fair.
plastered all over TV.
That's fair.
Going in and saying he don't look like he giving effort, like that's a little bit more quote unquote excusable than saying fuck it, I'm not going in.
depends.
I've gone in the
depends how
game and given
egregious.
lackluster effort because it's like I don't care, like whatever, but I'm out here.
Football is emphasized though. If you're lackluster, like on
Yo,
the
they
field,
gonna-
bro,
they
you
gonna-
let somebody just smooth blow by you for like a
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah.
Like,
So with certain levels of basketball.
yeah, no, I know.
that's
Because when you sit there in that
It's- it's
film
more-
room and
it's-
that coach starts putting a laser on your ass, and if you know, you know,
Yeah,
and say
yeah.
this is piss poor effort, and you get your
Yeah.
ass torn apart in the film room,
Slip
I'd rather that
coverage.
happen than I'm front page news now.
Yeah.
And now everybody's looking at me like that.
Yeah.
Because we can correct that shit where your coach yell at you, and then you
Yeah,
got,
yeah.
all right, coach, whatever, I was on some bullshit. You know, I want to
Right.
play some more. All right, cool. Do something for me to play some more, for me to play you some more minutes, and then I'll play you more minutes.
Exactly.
For me, my whole career changed at Marquette when I challenged my coach just one time. Because it was a point where I was just going with everything he says, getting my ass kicked, getting my ass beat down, and this is that, whatever. I may want to transfer, all this other shit. I got to my sophomore year, he started giving it to me on one of the days where he's just picking on me. I felt like, all right, cool. Today's the day you got the wrong fucking one. And me and him had a back and forth like we never had at that point in my career. And after that, I felt good because it's like, all right, cool. Now you know how I feel.
We know where we stand.
Changed after that. Oh, this motherfucker might be a little crazy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me give him a couple more minutes here and see
We
what
need
he do.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right, you know? So
Right.
there's
That
ways
dog
to
in him,
do it,
that
right?
dog in him, there it
There's
is.
ways to do it that could be beneficial to your cause
That's
if
right,
your
that's
cause
fair.
is to play the game for
That's
real,
fair, man.
Right.
rather than bitching up and doing some shit to make you look bad in front of everybody.
Right. It's
You
like
know?
what we talk about. Keep the main thing the main thing.
No doubt. And me and my coach had it out. We left the practice facility, was in the weight room going at each other like that. And it led to like, oh shit, he's starting next year. Because I see the kind of work he's putting in. I feel like I
Nice.
might have lit a fire in him with everything I'm like putting out. And I'm waiting for him to get to a certain point where he kind of break and snap. Because then that's the building block for like, all right, let's go forward from here. Now we
Yeah.
kind of both understand each other because we want the same thing. Nigga, I want to win and you want to play. So how the fuck do we make that happen?
Right.
Yeah.
The team agenda is to win. I'm the coach. I'm worried about my job because I'm going to get fired if I don't win.
Facts.
I'm worried about developing the guys that I want to develop. You're on this part of the totem pole versus this guy. You feel like your role should be bigger. All right, you express that to me now. How do we get there?
Right.
So things change once you go about it a different way. Yeah. When you make it public and then your teammates got to say, yeah, I think he probably going to get cut. Like that kind of shit.
Yeah, man.
You committing career suicide. So that part is like what I can't get behind in that moment.
Yeah.
And everybody deal with shit, but sometimes the shit that you go through is going to cost you big time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And as an athlete, you got to understand that shit when you're doing things like, I'm not going in the game. Like, you know?
That's corny moves, man. Corny moves.
It's a correlation, though, because there was a rapper that did that. He kind of got suited up, and then he was asked to get put in the game, and then he didn't.
Cap.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
I'm messing.
Yo, you really pulled that one, huh? He was like, I'm going to shoot from logo on that one.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, when did Steph come in here?
He
logo
drew on that one.
I was like, 1, 2. I got it.
He logo drew on that one.
I was about to say, I almost said who?
He shot that one and did a turnaround like Steph too. Like, I know that's in there.
I was like, nah, Cap. No.
He said.
I was like,
I'm only messing. I'm a J. Cole fan too.
It was a good attempt. I ain't gonna lie. Listen.
It wasn't bad.
That was goaltending.
It rimmed out. It was the one that was in there, and he like, poops. All right, bet. It was a good shot. It just didn't go.
You know what I mean? You was green as fuck. You know what I mean?
And this all kind of correlates because Real Talk today kind of buys into this whole shit because even going back to the Jay thing with the alleged situation where the young woman was left and alone as a parent with their parents not being there, I would say, to just the mentality of a lot of these young people who's guiding them, who's mentoring them. Real Talk today is going to come off the clip that I've seen early this week that kind of put me in a space, and it relates to society. One of our legends, we've actually played him on this podcast before, so we're going to let this one fly to open up the conversation on this side.
I'm strict about it. I don't play. I'm a strict dad. But because the world is harsh.
Yeah.
You know, I think when parents say things like, oh, I never want my kids to struggle the way that I did. Well, you have to understand the way your struggle produced you being a hardworking, critical thinking individual. And when you don't allow your kids to have guided struggle, they don't develop the coping skills. They don't have the courage. They can't deal with challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And it oftentimes doesn't end so well. I'm strict about it.
Wow.
One Pharrell Williams. Round of applause for that statement because it's something I stand behind to the core of everything he said. You know, and I feel like a lot of the shit we deal with nowadays is generations of parents and not even just parents, OGs, the powers that be, whoever is guiding the agenda for people coming up and all that shit, just getting way, way too like soft and lackadaisical. You know, like the thing that I said, like I admire what we said is like I'm a strict dad. Like he knew that shit to a T of what he said.
Right.
You know, and not that he don't love his kids, not that he don't support the best things for happening in their future as he can, but like. Strict dads have a place too, you know, and oftentimes the people that are strict are like going to hold your feet to the fire, not literally, but as a parent are the ones that are going to help you be able to withstand a bunch of bullshit that happens in your life.
Right.
That's going to come at a point where you got to make tough decisions, or it's going to come at a point where you fail at some shit and got to respond. And how do you do that? You know, I feel like people who are guiding youth or guiding those that can grasp something from your knowledge, your wisdom, your expertise, or just your experience in life, to me, those people have to be able to push that back to the generation to come in a way that's going to help them to understand that not everything is meant to come easy. And when it don't come easy, nobody gives a fuck about your tears, about why it's not going the way that you want it to go, you know? So to me, like, all this shit that we kind of talked about today kind of falls in the line of the whole who's guiding the youth perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like me as a parent, and I know it happens, I know it happens. I know there are children that do rebellious things that, and I'm a young, dumb nigga at one point who's done some shit that my mother might not have known about. Cool. But as a parent, like, there's certain things that you shouldn't be exposing your child to where you're not very close by them, and that, you can be someone to protect them if some shit goes wrong.
Right.
Like being around the quote unquote nasty celebrities and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And in the sports world, if you're not guiding your kid to where you got to go out there and work for shit and ain't everything going to be handed to you, even if as the society goes, we're handing the young athletes millions and millions and millions of dollars, then you setting your kid up for failure as well. Success, but then with huge success and no understanding of what's to come next mentally first, you crash, and then that's where the depression happens. That's where all the negative things and negative feelings that come with failure, and how you bounce back from that. There's one way or there's another way to go about it. And oftentimes in this generation, people is, like you like to say, is like bitch made or bitch assness. Like, it lives within society just because people kind of coddle everyone now, And for me, it's just, we got to get back to the basics in a certain kind of way,
Yeah.
Especially when everything is coming faster now. Everything is so much more publicized now. Everything is more open to people feeling or having feelings positively or negatively about what they think, consume, or experience. Like, it's not like it was when we was younger. There's only a small percentage of things in my own existence from life that are the same as when it was 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Internet ain't the same. Like, the phone is the computer now.
Yeah.
Like you said, the big box internet, like all the other shit, you got to plug the phone wire. We've seen all this shit take off to where it's like unfathomable where we started and where we got when in such a short amount of time, and all that shit plays into how we in society raise people, and how we setting them up for the future. You got to have a little bit of like, I'm the strict dad, or I'm the strict mom, or I'm the strict OG that's going to be like, yo, come on, like, get your shit together. Like, or fuck all that shit. Whatever you think, whatever you feeling, whatever you doing at this point is not the right mentality to help you grow, in life. And that's my soapbox. But a lot of this shit just got to get, like, there's a lot of back to basics, I feel like, in multiple lanes of existence for us as people.
No, I feel you on that. And that's a good point. Very good point. I don't have any kids, obviously, so I don't have too much of an insight on it. But
no, it's a fact. But
it's
you also mentor young people.
But in a sense, you always want to direct them. You definitely want them to build the resilience and like the coping skills, but you do want to try to avoid them of traumatic things at all costs. But you want to make sure they're still building that kind of character.
Guided struggle is what I like how you said.
That's how I plan to approach it.
Guided struggle,
Yeah, exactly.
Or like there was one thing I was watching earlier this week that was basically a parent, and I ain't gonna waste time looking for the clip, saying like he sets their child up with situations where they're meant to fail, just to see how they're gonna respond to it.
Yeah, it's teaching moments.
I'm there for you when you fall and bump your head, or like you do some shit and bust your ass, or some shit that I gotta really step in as a parent and be like, oh, I got you on the back end, but I'm gonna set you up to fail. Just because when I'm not here and you're 25 years old and I'm not the first person you can call to save you in that situation, how you gonna handle that on your own? People who ain't used to failing in life, or everything gets handed them too easy, they have issues with that kind of shit growing up.
It's hard to deal with.
It is.
It's hard to deal with.
So you introduce them to that kind of stuff early enough to where they understand that, okay, life ain't as peaches and cream, or like,
there's margin for error.
Yeah. Sunshine and rainbow, all that shit don't exist. Does it? Sure, in certain form, but everything ain't gonna be that all the time. How you deal with the adversity.
10% what happens, 90% how you react.
Facts.
That's what they say.
All that shit, And with that said, that's my real talk. Soapbox, ISO, whatever you want to call it. But it is quote time. Waldo wants to pass the buck off to Drew today. Drew's been here a few times. He hasn't delivered a quote to us. So, we're going to let him close y'all out.
All right. So this one
ready
I seen.
You thought you was giving
I'm
smoke.
a philosophical person, especially around, these days, especially.
Say this shit. This quote shit is nothing.
But this one is seen a couple weeks ago. It says, accept people as they are, but place people where they belong.
J. Cole.
Accept people as they are, but place people where they belong. How I interpret that is like, I don't know. I feel like there are some people that you encounter that like, I always say, like, it's not your job to convince people certain things. So it's like, you just got to accept people how they are, but also understand you don't got to be as closely knitted to people if you don't want to be. And sometimes they're not even owed the explanation either, because you're just like, all right, well, I see what it is. And
Facts.
yeah.
That's my 2025 goal.
Yeah.
Not convince people of shit. Like,
Yeah, that's why I like that quote.
in 2025, I'm done convincing motherfuckers of shit.
Yeah.
It's
So
a similar.
Not your
quote.
It's a
job.
weakness of mine because I often will try to.
You're a passionate person, that's why.
No, there's doubt.
I
There's
am
no
too.
doubt, but that often puts me in a position where I'm more frustrated with other people just because they can't see it how I see it,
Yeah, it's exhausting.
and ain't no reason for that.
Nope.
You know, everybody's path is different.
Not our job.
And I've been working towards that all year, but I still realize that's my next step in life as far as growth is just fuck it, let them do them.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
it's an easier said than done joint for sure. But if you can master it though, it's very peaceful.
Facts, you know,
Peace.
But nah,
That's all
definitely.
I want. Peace.
That's what we all want.
no doubt. And for me, more pieces. Fuck it, you got it.
It really is.
You like it, I love it. You got
Hey,
it.
go ahead, you got it, man.
Listen, man, it is what it is. But that said, we'll close you out here. And if you made it this far through the audio/visual occasion, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. That means you, and you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We love the love over here at the EFS podcast. So as we shut down episode 43, we'll bid you adieu by telling you to be safe in this crazy world and guard yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and all things in between. And with that said, the EFS podcast is out. Peace. Later.